Flippinar. The first show of 2019, bam, 2018 is gone. Some people are glad it's gone. Need to be here. They reminded me I need to be on Instagram. So AD can take it over from here.
Okay, again, I don't think they can see me, which is awesome, but as long as they can hear me, that's even better. Welcome, Happy New Year. I hope you've made some resolutions, some changes, some thoughts. Some of us don't really need to make resolutions. Need to do something different. You got any resolutions, Ty?
Just glad to be here and try to keep the lights on.
Okay, that works. That works.
Yeah. Just glad.
You got any resolutions?
I just want to continue to free the minds of the people.
I like that.
Free yourself. Okay. Did she actually say free your mind?
Free your mind.
She said
free your mind. Free your mind.
Free your mind. Okay.
Yeah.
So without further ado, welcome. Happy New Year, show number 83. We're live across several social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. You post your questions. I read the questions and they answer the questions. These questions are in regards to wholesaling, starting your wholesaling journey. And we're just going to go ahead and jump right into this thing and get started. Let's see here. YouTube, Trip J21 has been working 60 hours to be able to throw $200 a week for marketing until I get my first deal. I think last week you talked about working extra, getting a side gig when somebody was wondering how they could get a little money to start this, even though it doesn't take much, it does take some. So way to go, Trip J, working a little overtime to get that started. Let's see here. Not really a question, but a good way to start the new year. Derek Bailey, what's up? I see you there. And again, guys, if you have not joined the Wholesaling Real Estate with Flipman group on Facebook, please do so. In addition to that, make sure you subscribe to the channel on YouTube, in addition to subscribing on Instagram as well. Where did Flipman get his shirt? Really? That's what y'all come with? F-O? Wow. I don't even know what that means. He may not even know.
He don't. Well, he can see the tagline, I guess. Fear of being broke, but
yeah.
It was produced
by Ty.
It was produced, but what would you call your part of it? And printed.
Yeah.
By Adria or whatever. So, but you can get one if you want it. You can go to the FOBB. So that's THEFOBB.com, and you can get that and more.
Okay.
We don't have any questions. So, Reniki, I have your up on the screen. So just dive into that.
So yeah, so I want to piggyback on what I just stated, was free your mind. What I realized is that, there's two type of brokes or poor. There is a physical poor, where, maybe you went through something and you end up without, and there's also a mental poor. And mental poor is when you are so in tune with the problem that you don't see the solution. So my acronym for POUR is passed over opportunities repeatedly. These are for individuals and to understand that on each and every one of our journeys, there are opportunities that present themselves. But a lot of times that when our mind cannot comprehend the opportunity, we pass it over. But those opportunities are like ships to your next level, ships to the next place of where you want to be. If you don't jump on that ship, then you're going to stay in that same place. So we must continue to, we must understand how to recognize opportunities that is placed in front of us. And each and every day, each and every Thursday, we are here to share the opportunity of wholesaling, share the opportunity of building real estate portfolios. These are opportunities. So as opportunity presents themselves, you have to wrap your head around that, because that could be your ship to the next destination of where you're trying to go. And on top of that, of course, I am the finance and lender. And we want to show you how to use your credit to be able to invest in yourself and leverage your credit. You can go to findmynextdeal.com to begin to leverage your credit. For that individual who is working overtime for the additional $200, you can leverage your credit and put $1,000 or $2,000 aside to invest into your business. So it's so many ways to get you to that level, but would you take that opportunity?
All right, there you have it, guys. So poor. I'm gonna ask you what that means at the end of the show and see how many actually people were paying attention, but she has her information, how you can get in contact with her right there up on the screen. No reason for us to continue with this state of mind that we have right now, guys. We got to get out of this funk and do better. Simply put, do better. Let's see here on Instagram. There are several questions. Way to go. What markets are the three of you? What markets are the three of you in business? Markets are you in your business? Not sure.
I guess I mean, what cities are we in? I guess Renika is in Atlanta, and I'm in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
And Adria is in Tuscaloosa, which is within an hour of Birmingham.
Okay, so Chris.
I messed up, but anyway, go ahead.
Chris Lovely on Instagram wants to know, she has a question from New Jersey. I heard hood homes are best to start off with. How true is that? She said hood homes. Also, what is the first step to getting my very first deal? Now, I know in the past we might term it war zones, you might say D areas if you are graded on A, B, C, D, but hood homes, we're going to go with that. What do you think about starting out with hood home areas?
I'll start and maybe Todd can finish. I would say why hood homes are desirable is because they're located as war zones. And with war zones, the value is very low. So, the name of the real estate game is buy low, sell high. So it's the apple of a lot of investors' eyes because you can get in at a very low price and you can sell high if that's what your area brings or add value or brings the. Is that what your area is providing the value in that area? But the reason why people start there because the acquisition is a lot lower than going over in a more predominant vibrant area.
Yeah, just to follow that up, you'll some people are afraid of them because they're not comfortable maybe going to some of those areas. But one of the first things I learned when I got into real estate from this older guy here locally that used to have a monthly meeting, Don Williams, I think he's passed away now, but he used to always say, every house is a step up for someone. He said, if you don't believe that, you can go into any decent sized city, probably go downtown and you'll see homeless people. You could take the worst house in that city and offer them a deed to it, and it will be a step up for them. His point is that you can't get caught up into where I would like to live or where I wouldn't live or so on, because I don't care who's listening to this. Wherever you live right now, for a lot of people, it'll be a Taj Mahal.
Right.
Others, it ain't good enough.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So, so with that being said, again, you got to still go with your comfort level. I'm just letting you know the checks still spend the same, whether in a hood area, she said, or in an A area, quote unquote. So, and like Renika said, normally you're going to be able to get houses that are a lot cheaper. It's still going to base down to the numbers, but they're a lot cheaper. You have more people with 30 or 40,000 laying around to invest in real estate with 300 or 400 laying around to invest in real estate. So there's opportunities there. Just at the end of the day, you still just got to get them cheap.
All right. Hey, Derek. Hey, Rhonda from New Jersey. James Bates, Trip J. I hear you. You're going to end 2019 with 6 figures. Six figures in the bank. What we talking about? You got to be specific because right now when you send them prayers up, you got to say exactly what you want. Man, Spider-Man on your and you get 6 action figures. Okay, Timothy Thomas wants to know. He says, I am a newbie. Do you know any investor-friendly title companies in Maryland or the District of Columbia?
Well, the simple thing you can do there, number one, I always like to ask the question, do you have a deal in place? Do you have a seller? Do you have a buyer? If not, don't even worry about that. But to answer your question, let me explain why I say don't worry about it. All right, because it's not the hard part. The hard part is, number one, finding a deal, and then you get a buyer. And even if you found a title company, that doesn't mean that buyer is going to want to use them. Sometimes they have, well, a lot of times they have relationships already built of people that they want to deal with, and that's who they're going to deal with, because they're normally going to pay for the closing. The one with all the gold is going to make the decision. But assuming there was an investor, you were fortunate enough, it was the first time investing, so you may be designated to determine a title company. It's a lot easier to call a title company when you actually have a deal in place versus when you calling out the blue. Hey, do y'all do wholesale transactions or whatever? Or you call them and let them know that you have a buyer and a seller, and you explain, they're going to be more, because there's an opportunity for them to actually make money. Trust me, they get bombarded with those calls, because in a lot of courses, people teach you need to get your team together, an agent, title company, all that stuff. That sounds good. That's seminar stuff. You need to find you all that other stuff all in place if you find a great deal. But again, now I'll answer your question. Assuming you just not going to move forward until you have a title company in place that you think that closes deals. Probably one of the things you can do, as Reniki always goes into, is networking. Just go to some of your RIA meetings, some of your Real Estate Investment Association meetings, and people there know. You know what I'm saying? And normally in any decent sized city, there are going to be multiple associations that you could frequent. And some are going to be better than others. So, if that's, but in worst case, you can just call around if you want to. Maybe a lot discouraging. I'm just trying to keep you from being frustrated. Right. You got the floor.
No, I would have said the same thing. Take advantage of your local REAR groups and any real estate groups in your area, and you network with these people. These are full-time investors. A lot of them are full-time investors, and they don't mind sharing and referring you out their attorneys or contractors and things of that nature. A lot of times there's attorneys and contractors and plumbers, electricians that are part of these groups. So you're able to go there and network with everyone within those groups. So that's same thing.
All right, guys. So I'm seeing some questions about marketing, specifically about bandit signs. So I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. If you're just now beginning, it's the first of the year. We do have a no excuse.
I just put it up there. You ain't got to go through that.
Bundle.
I already put it up there.
You put it up where?
On the screen.
I can see it.
Okay. Well,
thank you. And no excuses start a bundle for those that were asking about bandit signs, which are, Israel wanted to know, is cold calling and bandit signs good to start with? And Harlow Housing wanted to know what's the second best marketing option if the bandit signs are not legal in your area. Making it clear, the bandit signs are not legal in anybody's area. They just stay up longer in some. So with that being said, bandit signs and cold calling, is that a good place to start?
I'll start because I know Ty has a full spiel. I would say start according to your marketing dollars. Whatever your marketing dollars can get, can provide you, start there. But most importantly, you have driving for dollars, where you could pretty much put gas in your car and you drive in these areas where you want to invest in, and you look for abandoned properties, and you write the address down and you send them a yellow letter, which I let Ty explain the yellow letter service that he have. Then you have the yellow letter service. So there are a lot of other opportunities out there.
To answer the question, he said cold call and bandit signs, I'm going to always side on doing something. You know, if you have as Renika mentioned, you have the marketing budget to do both, which one of them is just more or less time intense and really not a marketing budget needed for cold calling outside of buying a list. You can get all that for a couple $100 basically, and bandit signs really the same amount of money. But as I have on the screen here, if you want to do direct mail, this is what I recommend. You don't have to do it obviously, but mail to flip. As you can see here, it actually takes advantage of technology. It uses Google Maps, the software that the Graphic Connections has. They'll you upload a list, pay for it, and they handle everything else. And what happens is that they send a picture of the property on the postcard. It'd be a picture of that owner's property. And I just ran a recent campaign. They've added an additional twist to it, is that the person can actually send in a text code specifically for their property. You get the alert and you can respond back to them by text. I did a run like that back the late part of October, I think. And I was so stupid that they text and I would call them. After 3 people told me that I text you, I wanted you to text me or whatever. I figured it out. So I sort of wasted a little money on the first thing. But anyway, it works. Being the extrovert, the introvert that I am, text messaging works better anyway. So I'm like, oh wow, that's what's up. So if you're not understanding what I'm saying is, they're going to send a postcard with a picture of the property, of that owner's property on the postcard. So it's going to get their attention. They have 3 ways to communicate with you. Well, 4, I guess you have a website. Through your website, through your email, your phone number, but it's really promoting that they can text in this code to a short code number, and it'll actually send them a message that you want them to send, like, thank you for your request for a fair cash offer. Someone will be contacting you shortly. So within 10 minutes, I'm reaching out to them by text. I just have a standard text that says, good morning, afternoon, whatever, Mr. Jones. I received your text message. Are you texting about the house at? And you from the reply message that you receive, it tells you which house that you sent the postcard on as far as the absentee party. So they'll say yes. Then I'll respond back. How many? Well, okay, great. How many bedrooms and bath is the house? They'll say 3. So I'm trying to build that conversation. The next thing I'll ask them is the property currently rented or occupied? Yes or no, doesn't matter what they say. Then the next thing I'm gonna say, well, in your opinion, what's the overall condition of the property? So that builds all this through text message now. That builds a little even more dialogue. And then I hit them with the magic question, paying all cash and closing quickly, what's the least amount you'll accept? Now, even though the postcard say, hey, we're gonna make you a fair cash offer, I'm still trying to get them to give me a price. And pretty much, I'm gonna say 90% of the people that I've targeted, they're giving me a price, and we just go from there. And whatever the price they say, I always tell them, thanks, and let me do a little due diligence, and I'll follow back up with you. So, that's how it's worked. It's been, since I've paid attention to the way you should do it, it's been working well. Now, you still have some that call also, so you're getting that traffic also, those leads also. Some people don't want to text, they still going to use the phone number and call you. So it's like you have 4 ways of them communicating with you. So anyway, she said I was going to go on a rant. There it is.
There's the
So, that was a good one.
If you want more information, just call the guys over there at Graphic Connections. I think the number is 800-378-0378. Ask for Corey or Ryan and let them know the Flip Man sent you.
That was nice. Look at you. Okay, Yvette.
Or you can go to mailtoflip.com.
Yes, okay. Yeah, let's go to mailtoflip.com. Yvette Queen says, it's been so hard to get a deal. I drive for dollars, find vacant houses, but when I skip trace the numbers, they're no good. What more can I do?
Well, how many are you targeting per week? How many leads are you generating per week? Is a question I would ask. What would you say, Renika?
I mean, I would say Stay consistent. You know, I mean, if you hear the stories on how many months or years it took a lot of people to get their first deal, you would think that you're still in the running. So just continue to stay consistent. I think the most important thing is the consistency part. You know, how often are you really marketing? How often are you really putting your letters out there and put your signs up? So I would just say stay consistent. Also, if you're not getting hits in certain areas, you know, it's a trial and error. You know, put it in another area, put your bait or your net in another area, put your signs in another area. I mean, it's somewhat of a trial and error. It's not one marketing strategy that works. It's a combination of multiple doing it consistently.
Okay, you got anything to add to that?
Oh, no, perfect.
Okay.
That's cool. That's cool.
Okay, so let's see here, but okay, she said that she's been driving for dollars and she couldn't find the number. So along with that, there's a lot of questions about skip tracing services for getting cold call numbers. I think we do this pretty often. People want to know good skip tracing services. And then you might have to explain what exactly skip tracing is.
Listen on these. So skip tracing is pretty much this you know, the same service when a bill collector is looking for you. They use a skip tracing service to track you down and to collect the debt. So skip tracing is the same thing. I mean, everyone can be traceable. If you have you know, the address or their name, you have their name, you can send them through a skip tracing service, and you can contact the people that pops up that has that name or whatever the case may be, and allows you to really try to contact them instead of waiting on them to contact you, which is what a yellow letter is. A yellow letter, you mail them, you hope that they read it, and you hope that they call you. Skip tracing is skipping past that and getting these people on the phone immediately. And when you can speak to someone immediately, therefore you can have a lot quicker dialogue on purchasing that property.
Yes, and just to follow up on that, on the screen here, I have dealulator.com. It is a service that will allow you to, number one, determine who the owner is of a property. It does, which gives you their mailing address, which can be used to directly mail them. But it does also offer a skip tracing service also within the application. Now, one of the things that I did today, and I didn't have an address for the owner of this. This is a commercial property. It used to be a bank, but it's sitting on like a corner that's killer or whatever. And so, even more interesting is that the owner on this particular property, this is a prime real estate for this part of town. It's in his name. He doesn't even have it in an LLC, anything. So I did some initial research on it just by Googling his name and the address that it shows, the mailing address. And if I think I got the right guy, he passed away a couple of years ago. Well, I'm sorry. Well, I guess that would be a couple of years ago, back in like 2013. But I think his wife is a survivor. And so the property ownership would automatically go to her in most cases. So what I did was I went to Intellus.com because I didn't have, well, you know what, I did find an address for them as far as their mailing address, because I did a search through the county website to find out where they actually live, because the address that he had on file for the commercial property was another commercial property, which I guess is where he worked or whatever. I think he was a physician. And so I did find that information, but I still couldn't find the phone number. So what I did, I went to Intellus.com. That's Intelius, which is a pretty good service. For only 95 cents, I was able to get, all of their phone numbers, a couple of email addresses for him and her. Now, of course, he's deceased or whatever, but again, I think I have the right guy. Won't know until I sent her an email. I'm going to follow up tomorrow with a call. And then if I don't get her on the phone, then I'm gonna follow up with something in the mail or whatever. I'll probably go out because there's only one single property that I'm targeting there as for the commercial property. I'll take a picture of it and I'll, use the mail to flip, thing, take a picture of property. Say, I want to buy this property and see if she'll call me. But what I'll do is I'll send it either FedEx or UPS to ensure that she gets her hands on it and it just doesn't automatically end up in the trash. I'll take that $6 to $10 extra just to ensure that, she gets her hands on it. If she's interested, then she'll obviously call me. But I won't, if I do what I'm supposed to do, which is not always the case, I'll follow up a couple of months later if she doesn't call me because people's situations change. Today, she had no interest in selling it, but now some may have come up in her life that she needs to sell it now, it just needs the money or whatever. So hopefully I went over a few things that may help there in your skip tracing.
And also, I think one of the questions was, what are the services? Todd just named one. You have Locate Plus, BIM Verified, TLO, Prospect Now, are all skip tracing services.
All right, guys. In addition to that, Google is your friend. So you can always, Google.
Yeah, that's where I started. I'm just going to automatically start there. Because sometimes the number just come up. Some people, especially older people, I'm assuming this is old, because I think he was born in 1921. So,
right.
Well, yeah. But he was still in 90 something when he passed in 2013. So I'm assuming his wife is probably not far, but I ain't gonna say far behind. It's for his age or whatever. Unless when he got him a young hammer or something, but she still 70. You know what I'm saying? She still be 70. But anyway, so like Adrian said, Google is your friend and YouTube is your friend. I learned how to do it. It took me all day to figure out something that should have been so simple. I'm not gonna tell you what it is yesterday, but I spent all day watching YouTube videos and I figured it out. YouTube is your friend. It is so powerful. That's why you're looking at me now because of it, obviously, but it is so, especially something technical. You can learn how to do anything.
Anything. I got a video on.
Yeah.
Yes. Chastity Holloway wants to know, can you guys please describe the process of wholesaling a house with an upside down mortgage, pre-foreclosure, probate, subject to? I've been trying to get direct answers. I need notes. She says she needs notes. Is there a video on it?
Well, she said when it's upside down. So now that's your first issue right there, right? Okay. It's possible to take on a property like that, especially if it's in an escalating area of your market where the prices are increasing rapidly, but you're still speculating or whatever that it's going to do this or that. It's just I'll just let Renika take it. That's really not my thing. I go ahead, baby girl.
I mean, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, is it really worth it? If the property is upside down, the dynamics changes because now you're looking for a retail buyer. Are you looking for, or if it's a subject to, you're looking for someone to come in and take over the payments, but that has to make sense to them as well, because why would they overpay for an asset that is not worth what you're selling it for? So it has to be, as Todd said, in the escalating market for it to make sense to anybody. Most likely you're probably not finding that much information on it because, it's one of those cases where it's kind of hard to put those deals together to really make sense for an investor or a retail buyer, of things of that nature. So with the subject to, that's one of the situations where you go in and take over their payments, but you may assign those payments to another end buyer, where they begin to take over those payments, but it still have to all make sense as far as the value of the property. Because if it's upside down, that property just doesn't make sense to need to go through foreclosure. When it goes through foreclosure, it forces the lender to sell it at market value. So I wouldn't necessarily take over a property that's upside down. Unless it's in an escalating market where the value is increased over time. But if it's not, then I would recommend that homeowner to just foreclose on the property. They're gonna take it anyway. So do a short sale. And a short sale is basically the homeowner contacting the lender and letting the lender know, hey, I want to give this back to you because I can't afford it. And the lender would go through the short sale, AKA pre-foreclosure process. And there is when the investor can pick that up at a lower value. That's what I would do if I'm looking at a property upside down. It doesn't make sense. Take it through the foreclosure process, do a short sale, and you pick up the short sale. However, if you are a wholesaler, putting a foreclosure under contract, just know in order for you to close that, you would have to do a double closing.
Don't fall in love with a property.
Yeah.
Numbers work or they don't.
Okay. I guess tackling with that, off-roader has a property and a buyer, but the buyer wants to do an owner financing. He wants to know, should he go that route because no other buyers are biting right now?
If the seller is willing to do it, you just can't do it. The seller has to be willing to do some terms of some sort.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you still got to run your numbers. Make sure it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see here. DJ Smooth 716 needs to know assignment or double closing. Your video's kind of touching both. Which one? And if so, assignments, do I need one for the contract you give us out? So I guess he's asking which one to do. And if
so I'll pick it. I'll start. Assignment or double closing, it is really tailored to the deal. It's tailored to the end buyer and the seller. A lot of times you can do an assignment. However, regardless you do an assignment or a double closing, you're gonna still need two contracts. You're gonna need the contract with the seller and you're gonna need a contract with the end buyer. So you will always need two contracts if you're doing an assignment or a double closing. However, an assignment is when you look at the HUD, your assignment fee is going to be on the HUD. So if you didn't let the buyer or the seller know that you assigned this and they just see a $10,000 assignment fee on the HUD, then they have the right to even cancel or whatever the case may be. So sometimes in some cases, you just want to do a double closing so you don't have to expose the money that you're making. In some cases, a double closing is the only way, which is when you're dealing with foreclosures and short sales and lenders, you want to do a double closing. So it all is tailored towards the deal, the seller and the end buyer. If you want to hide your fee, do a double closing. It may make, the attorney may charge you $500 to maybe $1,000 to do that double closing, but it's a lot better than getting to a table and someone is counting your pockets and now they don't want to do the deal because they see you make the lump sum of money that you're making. So you have to make that assumption on how you want to close it according to all those dynamics.
Yeah, he said I talk about both. I really don't talk about double closing that much. But both work. I like to always say both work. You know what I'm saying? No question about that. So it's just going to depend on what your comfort level is with putting deals together. So as she said, if you feel like a seller or a buyer may have a problem with what you're making, then yeah, you can double close it. Hopefully you have a title company and or a attorney that's willing to do that. Sometimes that may not be an option, just because it may be the buyers, people that you're using. But I'm normally not going to deal with a buyer that cares how much I'm making. I don't want that relationship with that guy.
Right.
Cause I'm in on my buyer side, sellers, there's going to be a one-shot deal in most cases. But on the buyer side, I want buyers that want to buy from me over and over again. I want buyers to look at me as like, hey, this guy is putting food on my table. You know what I'm saying? So no matter what he's making, I know what I want to make off the deal. I sell it on this price. I know that price works for me based on the condition of the property, the area, comps, so on. I don't care if he makes more than me, which is normally not going to happen, number one, or whatever. In most whole, it has happened before, but it's rare or whatever. So from you, because I know the buyer said, man, you made more money than me on this deal. I messed up on the repairs or whatever as far as the estimate. But again, I don't even want to deal with them. They tripping about that. Buyer said, well, let me see your contract. Oh, we can't do business. You know what I'm saying? When he said, let me see your contract with the seller. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Don't even worry about it.
And you never have to expose your contract to the seller. To the end buyer if they ask for that. You don't have to do that.
I ain't gonna do it.
Right.
Okay. Our subscriber on Instagram wanted to know. Question is, how do I know if the property has a mortgage on it? How do I find out how much the loan on the property is? Ask the seller.
Yeah, you'll ask the seller. Really, that's your finance thing, but just in a nutshell, sometimes they don't know. And what you can do is this is why I handle it, Nick. You tell me how you handle it, is that I'll just ask them, when did you get the loan? Right?
Right.
You said, well, I've been in this house, since it's 2019 right now. I've been in the house since 2010. They still owe a lot of money on that house, especially if it was a 30-year mark. You're still paying a significant amount of interest on the property or whatever. So if the original loan was 150, back in 2010, they probably still owe, we'll just say 120, 125 or whatever. Until you get over that 15-year mark or whatever, that's when the principal starts to really come down on it or whatever. So a lot of times they just not going to know exactly, but you can tell, you can ask them how much was the original loan, and when you got it, you can have an idea of what they possibly owe or whatever. But it's going to all come out in the title work. You have to know that and whatever. And most people understand whenever they give you a price, they build in the amount of the mortgage. Now, every now and again, you'll find people that say, oh, I want to sell it for 100, and it may be in a $250,000 house, a neighborhood, but they're really saying that I want to make 100 off of it, even though I owe 120. So now we're at 220 in reality. So you occasionally find people that don't understand that whenever I give you a price, I must build in the mortgage is going to come out of my proceeds in that price. So.
Right. I'm going to assume if a seller gives me a price, that mortgage amount is within that. However, ask them that question. If they do not know, ask them to pull their last statement. Either pull their last statement will have it, or they can contact their lender and ask for a payoff letter, which is what they're going to need to provide to the attorney anyway for the payoff. But they should know, and it should be already in the asking price. But they don't know, just ask them to if they can just pull their last statement to make sure that we know that exact number.
All right. Hello, Michelle and Charles. Happy New Year to you. They say Happy New Year's, Guy. And Joan Giles, who just tuned in, and she hopes she hasn't missed much, but she's a realtor.
Happy New Year.
So
ha, 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 ha. What's that from?
I don't know. Home Alone?
No, I'm going to let somebody guess. Happy New Year. Ha, 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 ha. Somebody know it.
Sure you're ha, 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 ha.
I have no idea.
Somebody know. I guarantee you somebody know what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh. Where is it? Okay, so Ms. Giles, who's a realtor, wants to know, how does she handle transactions and disclosing to her broker? Renikia, I'm gonna let you tackle that one.
Yes. So when you're dealing with your broker, you have to expose everything that you're doing. There is a document, at least here in Georgia, there is a document that I think is the sale of a unlisted property, where you could use, it kind of depends on what your position is. You know, are you the wholesaler? Are you the realtor? Are you, you know, or you could put the deal in place with the end buyer and the homeowner, and have them to just provide you. The difference will be your bonus or a bonus that they provide to you in your commission check. But you can also represent an unlisted property, which allows you to get commission off of it. And if that seller or end buyer wants to give you a bonus, they can give that to you as well. And that will need to go back to your broker, and then they disperse the funds.
Let me ask you a question. As an agent, right?
Oh gosh.
Can you buy your own personal house without the broker getting money from it?
No.
So you can't buy your own personal house. They still have to get a piece of your.
If you represent yourself.
No, you just buying a house. Ain't no agent involved. You just buying a house.
But it's no way you're gonna leave that 3% on the table.
No, I'm saying, but you're gonna leave it on the table because you're gonna have. I'm trying to get somewhere here. Assuming you can buy a house without being an agent? You're an agent, but not going through an agent process. Basically, what I'm saying.
No, you would have to disclose that.
No, I say disclose, but I'm saying, can you buy it? You can disclose that you're an agent. I'm saying, can you buy a house for your own personal use without paying someone a commission? If it was for sale by owner, is what I'm saying.
Yes, for sale by owner.
Yeah.
But if they're a realtor as well, is what you're asking?
Yeah. No. It's just a regular person. It's just a regular person, and you're buying the house for yourself for whatever reason.
No.
Okay. So that's wholesale. No. That's what wholesale is. This is a little personal investment of yours. I'm not taking it through the channels of being an agent. That this is my personal deal. Am I missing something here?
Fine print.
I know agents may want to double dip, get the wholesale fee and a commission. No, the commission.
If you hold a real estate license, if you hold a real estate license and you try to purchase a property for investment or for home, you still have to disclose that purchase to your broker.
Disclosing and paying them a commission can be two different things, is what I'm trying to get to, right?
Right. So I'm not for sure, but I'm assuming if you receive a commission.
No, you're not receiving a commission. That's what I'm saying. You're not receiving a commission.
Well, then no one. Yeah, you're right. You don't. No one. Yeah.
That's not a commission.
You don't have to pay the broker that if you don't receive a commission. You just have to disclose it.
Something. Anytime you get something.
No, but if I'm not using my agent license, but I just have to disclose that I am a licensed agent, and I'm not trying to collect commissions. He's not due a commission. If I'm not trying to collect commissions.
Right.
It's like a pimp.
No, it
is a pimp. I don't care whether you do it on the side or whether you do it on the clock. You still give me my money.
And I think most realtors is going to collect their commission.
Yeah, but I guess the thing is that I guess what I'm asking is trying to be clear here on. I may be making $100,000 off the deal or whatever, but my realtor commission may only be, I don't know, $3,500 or whatever. If I did it that way or whatever, you see what I'm saying? So it wouldn't be to my advantage. It may not be to my advantage to include me, say, well, I'm going to get the commission also. Because I may not want to involve my broker or anybody in the deal. I can leave that on the table. That's what I'm saying. That's the only thing I'm saying is that I know you can buy your own personal real estate without involving them as long as no commission is being exchanged.
But the thing about it is that disclosing is full paperwork. And they want the purchase and sales agreement has to be on file. All those, the HUD has to be on file. They won't necessarily, but they're going to see that full transaction anyway.
Oh, no,
because they got to put that additional documents and everything on file as if you did sell it, because if anything go wrong, your broker have to be able to pull those documents and pull disclosure and pinpoint that full that full transaction.
Okay.
So ways around that, realtors, is partner with someone who don't have a license.
That aren't bound.
And I'm just gonna leave it right there.
Leave it right there, sweep it under the rug. Next, the answer to your question, and Mr. Wiley C was the first person to respond correctly with trading places. Whatever. Although the Flippinars, John Mascarenas did respond as well, and we had several people who said "Coming to America." What they?
No.
It wasn't even Christmas in Coming to America, was it?
No. Not what? It was cold.
It was cold, but it wasn't Christmas.
You know what I think? Let me see.
Well, he was in a hot tub. It was a Christmas tree. No, it wasn't. It was just a neon sign. It wasn't Christmas. Yes, it was, because they gave each other gifts. Duh, at the daddy house. It was Christmas time.
Yeah, so
it was,
mm-hmm.
It was, It was, but yeah.
But it's not the same movie.
Not the same movie. Nope. And Gerald, you get an F for Frosty the Snowman. What were you?
These are Eddie Murphy movies.
Oh, Gerald. At least they had Eddie Murphy.
Oh, wow.
Let's see here. Shoot, doubt. The question I had was up here. Okay, so since you talked about that just for a second, it's the very most recent question, but the same two rich dudes played in Coming to America. They did. They actually did. Look at you, Wiley. What is a HUD? Fred Fegan wants to know, what's the HUD?
HUD is an itemized statement. So when you go to the closing table, everything a dollar amount wise, everything that the seller pays for, everything that the buyer brings to the table, everything is itemized on the HUD, kind of like a receipt per se, but it's itemizing the transaction of that transaction. So you're going to see the taxes, you're going to see any back taxes, anything insurance, you're going to see all of that, attorney fees, you're going to see all of that itemized on the HUD. So the seller know exactly what they'll be receiving, and the buyer know exactly what they'll be bringing to the table. So all of that will be itemized on the HUD. I don't know if you have a...
I was going to say the same thing. It's a big receipt. It's a big receipt.
It's a big receipt.
I can't see that.
I cannot believe you. Can't do nothing. Okay, you got rid of my stuff. Okay, so Jorge Casarubias wants to know, is there a coupon code for mail to flip?
Oh yeah, but you can just call them. But it's like TT10. I think TT10 is the actual code. T for Ty, T for Taylor, 10. But you can just call, and speak to one of the guys over there.
Okay, so yeah, hey guys, I saw actually two people asked, was there a coupon code for mail to flip? Give them a call. They can make sure you have the correct one, but there is one. Hey, Burma Eubanks, welcome. This first time joining us. And there was somebody else that was new too. Hey, sorry I missed your name. Let's see here. Going back to the questions. There was one here. Yes, the contract can be used in Ohio. The contract that you provide wants to know, can it be used anywhere? Do y'all post Facebook ads to find motivated sellers?
Well, yes, I've been trying for probably about 2 years and probably spent, I only want to say how much money, but haven't figured it out yet. I did get one property under contract that didn't close. I was so excited. I was like a newbie, but I was glad my Facebook ad was working, but I didn't get it cheap enough. But I'm not giving up on it, but it's just a different animal because people really are not there looking, you know what I'm saying? Like when you go to Google, you say, how do I sell my house? Whereas when people on Facebook, they just scrolling down or whatever, you know, of course, Facebook has to fine tune with audiences and all that stuff. But the problem that I've found is just I can't get enough response or reaction to people to my ads. But, you know, I've spent a lot of money trying to figure that out and still haven't yet. But if I do, you all will be the first to know. And you know it'll come in a package that's very affordable for you to learn how. But I haven't figured it out.
On Instagram, if you're doing a seller finance and you have given the other terms, are you going to have a written agreement of the terms, or are you calling an attorney to write up the terms? So seller financing, what kind of contract do you use for that, basically, is what they're asking.
I would get an attorney involved. I would get an attorney involved. You know, you can use, there are seller financing, purchase and sales agreement, or what that one's supposed to finance.
Are they talking about closing the transaction or just initiating initiating what we're going to do?
Just the terms.
I think they just mean initiating the terms, you know, like we're going to agree to do this. So you can just do that on just a normal purchase and sales agreement. But to close it, what would you say, Reniki? Would they need to involve an attorney or whatever? I've done a few of those, but anything I've ever done with some form of finance.
I will, because that's when the homeowner kind of transfer the deed into your name, and I wouldn't do that without getting an attorney involved and getting a warranty deed and pulling the title and things of that nature. So to close out, would definitely close it like a regular transaction. But there are seller financing purchase and sales agreement that itemize, and it's really like a purchase and sales agreement with an addendum or amendment that explains the financing part of that, which is a seller financing addendum or amendment addendum or owner financing addendum. It really depends on, you know, which one you pull, but it's an addendum that kind of itemizes the monthly fees, the taxes, what's the payoff amount will be. All of that needs to be itemized on that document. And then you can also file that document at the county, where it's on the where it's on the title of that property. So if they go and try to sell it, behind your back or anything, because you have to understand, when you do seller finance, you don't necessarily own that property yet. You don't own that property until you pay it off, and then they deed it over to you. So you one of the criteria to do seller finance is usually like a down payment. All of that needs to be itemized in there. So if the seller decides to do something behind your back, go ahead and file that document on the title of that property.
Okay, Renikia, Erica Blackwell has a question I'm sure you can answer. She wants to know, do you get something like a pre-approval or a proof of funds from a hard money private lender before you purchase a property for assurance that you can afford property and rehab?
Most lenders don't, but they will, because really the deal qualifies you. However, you can contact the lender and you can let them know all your financing. Say, hey, this is how much money I have down payment. This is my credit score. This is the amount of money in my bank. According to these financing, what will I qualify for? Or whatever the case may be. But most hard money lenders don't. I mean, that's kind of more of a bank where they give you a pre-approval and then you go out and shop. Because people understand that most lenders are tailored to the deal and not you. They approve you based on the deal, on the project, and not you. And they approve you based on the project, and then they approve you. So they approve you and say, hey, this project makes sense. And then they look at your financing to make sure that you can afford the project that you're going to take. But if you want to contact a lender and to provide those financials that you have, then they can kind of give you an idea of what you will be able to afford. And some lenders do provide that letter, but you will have to ask and request.
All right, guys. So Renikia, just rounding out, if any of our subscribers wanted to get in contact with you, we have it up on the screen right there. So no reason, guys, not to have that screenshot it, write it down. But tell them again, for the ones that are just joining us, the ones that are new, what services you provide, how can you help them build their wealth through real estate, what things do they need to do to change their mindset to move forward. It's a new year, new things. What should they be doing? Just cover it all.
Absolutely, absolutely. So for individuals, one thing we do teach is no money down deals. So you can get into this business with little to no money. But if you want to really grow this business, you're gonna have to invest in yourself. You're gonna have to invest in your business. So one of the services that I have is a down payment investors down payment assistance. You can also use this money to fund your wholesale, fund your marketing, and build your business so you can go out there and be able to invest in real estate, because there is some marketing dollars that that you would need to invest in. However, you can start in the marketing where it's less money out of your pocket, but the farther you get into this, you want to invest into marketing. So if you have a 680 credit score or higher, we help you leverage your credit to receive up to $150,000 of unsecured credit. Unsecured credit means that it's not tailored to a project, or is not tailored to a piece of real estate. That means you can use it however you want to use it. What we show you is how to use it for a down payment to your first fix and flip, or use it to put towards your wholesale business, or your to invest into your marketing so you can find your first fix and flip, or you can build your wholesale business. You want to leverage your credit. So individuals, you can go out there and make extra money by having a second job, or you can invest in your credit and to get up to $150,000. And then it's almost like someone giving you $100,000 and telling you to win. What would you do with that? But everyone must understand that we all are walking banks. Our credit is a bank, but we have to use it in the right way. And if you understand how to use it in the right way, you will leverage it to invest in assets like real estate. You cannot show me a successful person on this earth who have became successful without a loan and without using their credit. So understand that success leaves clues. Use your credit for the right way and not the wrong way, of which a lot of us have been taught to use it for our lifestyles and things that we don't need, liabilities, we buy cars we don't need, and things of that nature. Use your credit to invest in assets, and then use the profit from the assets to build your lifestyle. So as I flip properties, now I'm going to get that car. I flip another property, I go and get that. So understand we just a little bit backwards, that we use our credit for the lifestyle, but what we need to do is use our credit to build the asset, run the business, and allow the asset cash flow from the business and the real estate to fund your lifestyle. So just changing that dynamic of understanding the power of credit is one of the most powerful things everybody can do, is begin to leverage that credit to invest in themselves.
All right, guys, there you have it. It is January 3rd. It's still new in this new year. It's going to fly by fast. I know it is, just like last year. No excuses. Get started. Freddie, you keep asking about the bundle. Go to startedscience.com. Everyone else, get started today, right now. When we sign off, dive into the videos. Go to flipman.net, get the contract. What was the closing detail sheet that did you put it up somewhere? Somebody asked about your version of closing detail.
Search for closing detail sheet Flip Man, and you'll see that video.
Okay, Ralph, that's for you. Everyone else, get on your hustle, get on the grind. No excuses, guys. We got to do something different. And those of you who are putting up the signs, that aren't getting results, switch it up a little bit, choose a new area. Try to figure out why you're not getting responses. Think about how many you're putting up. Are they still up? What your message says. Someone asked, what do I put on the sign? We buy houses. And the phone number, and to keep it simple. Someone also asked, what do you put when you're trying to attract the cash buyers? We sell houses. I mean,
house cheap, price, phone number.
Don't put your whole story on the bandit sign. Explain that once you actually get them on the phone. Can't afford the bandit signs? Shoot, there's too many videos out there on how to make some. The letters, I know, guys, we talk about the mail to flip, which is the postcards, which is a phenomenal service that will most definitely help you. But if you can't go back to old school, get a publisher and Microsoft Word and make your postcards and print them suckers out. A yellow letter doesn't have to be yellow paper. It can be pink paper, green paper. Go get you a ream of 500 sheets of paper and get it right. I mean, there's no reason not to take some form of action to get started. Start with the videos. Get your bandit signs, your letters, your lists. You're driving for dollars. You use your resources that were made available to you. Get your the videos, tag, reach out, the groups, join the groups, visit the meetings. Too much free stuff out here to, be sitting there doing nothing. You got something?
That's it. Let's get it out of here.
Be intentional. Be intentional.
Oh, she's speaking more words. Oh, free. You don't know what that's. She started off with a little invoke, y'all. She did. Guys, we've been on for a few minutes past the hour. We're here every Thursday, pretty much every Thursday, 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern. Join us. Subscribe to the channel. Follow Ty on all platforms of social media. Follow Renikia on all platforms of social media. Listen to his podcast, iHeartRadio, Apple something. It's all there, guys. And we will see you next week on the flip side. Happy New Year. Let's get started.